Hello everyone, this is Alina Levitt, and this video is a response to a statement: break ties with the negative people. We all know that we attract people, only the ones who are similar to us and who are exhibiting the same traits that we don't see in ourselves. So you can't really break the ties with the negative people and get rid of negativity in your life unless you'll address that negative behavior in your own self. So what I did is I made a whole list of features I dislike in people, and using EFT, emotional freedom technique, I'm gonna tap off the emotional part that is attached to that feature, and then I'll just sit down and I will thoroughly think about my behavior and try to change it. So let's start with the first part: detaching or neutralizing the emotional part of the features I dislike immensely in people. That means I have those features in me. The tip of the iceberg that I see in other people is just a little tiny fraction of what sits in me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so emotional. I wouldn't react so emotionally to those negative features. Anyways, here's the list of features I don't like. Cheap. I'm going to read my own list. Cheap, boring, whiny, talk too much, don't keep their word, waste their lives, do very little during a day, don't take care of their teeth, unintelligent, liars, irresponsible, using welfare, unemployed, users, fat, disrespectful. I guess all that I've just listed is me. I know it's very hard to admit, but today I'm humbling myself and I am gonna to accept all these things in me and let go. I'm gonna tap my points to activate my meridians and to neutralize the emotional attachments to those features I dislike. So, cheap. I forgive myself for being cheap. I am cheap. It's really hard to admit. It's really hard to see that I am cheap. But if this bothers me, that means I am the source of that negative feature. I admit that I'm the source of being cheap. Ooh, that hurts. I am cheap. I am cheap. I forgive myself for being cheap. I forgive myself for being cheap. I let go of that feeling, of that behavior. I open myself for being generous. Generous to myself and generous to other people. I'd like to be generous. Generous. I like generous people. I'm opening myself to be generous myself. Wow. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm afraid of being used if I'm going to be generous. So I'm letting go of that fear of being used. Nobody's going to use me if I'm not going to be afraid of that. We attract what we're fear of or dislike. I'm letting go that feeling, that fear of being used. Next, boring. Never thought that I'm boring, but I guess I am. I am boring. And I forgive myself for being boring. I forgive myself for not seeing how boring I am. I let go of that feeling. I let go of that boring word, sound of that word, feeling of that word, everything that is associated with being boring. Boring, boring, boring. I let go. Let go. I'm opening myself for being interesting. Interesting, bring tons of wonderful ideas, executing wonderful ideas, being active myself, not wait for anybody to entertain me, to make my life more interesting. It's all up to me. I have to get my behind off the chair and start doing stuff. Start making my life more interesting. I'm opening myself to be more interesting, to be more active in making my life more interesting. I allow myself. I allow my life to be more interesting. I allow myself to live more interesting, more active life. Next, whiny. Oh, never thought that I'm whiny, but I guess I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't laugh. And otherwise, I wouldn't react on whiny people that hard. So I forgive myself for being whiny. I accept the fact that I am whiny. I guess I am whiny, but I just don't see it. I don't recognize when I'm whining. I let go. Let go of that negative feeling. I let go every sound, every feeling, every emotion, everything that is connected to being whiny. And I'm opening myself to being strong, to being positive, to see positive things only, to behave positively, to find immediately solutions instead of whining. Just focus on something good instead of something unpleasant. I allow myself to be positive, not whining. That feels good. Next, talk too much. I guess I do talk too much. Oh, I just like that feature, especially in men. When men talk too much, it wears me out so greatly. So, I admit my fault of talking too much, of being annoying, and instead of saying yes or no, saying the whole life story before giving an answer. That's the most irritating feature in people, that instead of saying the short answer yes or no, they just start telling me the whole life story. I don't like that. So I guess I'm the same way. I'm letting it go. I let go of being too much talkative and not giving short answers. And I open myself to expressing myself in very short sentences and giving decisive, straight answer, yes or no. I let go all the sounds, all the feelings, all the emotions, everything that is connected to the negative feature of talking too much. Let go. Okay, next. Don't keep their word. In other words, not the master of your own word. Don't keep your promises. I never thought that I don't keep my promises, but I guess I do have that fault. I guess I don't keep my promise and I break my promise easily. And I know somebody would agree with that and say that, yes, I don't keep my promises. When it comes to children, I do always keep my promises. When it comes to men, not so much. I admit my fault. I admit that sometimes I break my promise because it seems like the situation is changing 180 degrees and I can't really keep that promise anymore because the promise was given in a different setting, different situation. But as you see, it's all excuses. I forgive myself for not keeping my promise. I forgive myself for that fault. I forgive myself and I let go. Every sound, every feeling, every emotion, every image, every smell, everything that is connected to this negative feature, I let go. I let go. And I allow myself to be strong, to keep my promises. But most importantly, make my promise only if I know that I can't break it. Only if I'm 100% sure, which is not possible, but still. I'm sure that this is the situation where I can back myself up 100% and say I'll never break my promise. So I'm opening myself to being more responsible for my words. That's an eye opener. Interesting. Okay. Waste their lives. I'm annoyed with people who are wasting their lives. Wasting. Okay. I forgive myself for wasting my life. I forgive my fault for wasting my life, for not utilizing every talent and every opportunity to grow, to create, and to be the best I can. I allow myself, I open myself to be as productive as I can, to unfold my talents to the full capacity every day, challenge myself, and enjoy that challenge instead of whining and being frustrated. Enjoy the challenge, the growth. So what's next? Number 7. I don't like people who do very little during the day. I guess I myself don't do a lot during the day. And that's why I'm irritated by other people who don't do a lot during the day. This statement sounds very untrue, but if it bothers me, that means I am the source of that negative feature. I do very little during the day, and I'm not happy with myself doing very little during the day. So that's why I'm so irritated with other people doing very little during the day. I accept my fault. I accept my fault of being lazy, of not discovering myself more, not challenging myself more, not doing more during the day. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself. And I am letting go every sound, every smell, every taste, every image, every emotion, and every feeling connected to that problem. And I allow myself to be productive, very productive, be very happy with what I've done during the day. Just had a thought of creating a list, what I'd like to do tomorrow, for example, and just check off all the tasks that I've planned the day before. That's a good way to do it. All right. Next, number 8. I don't like in people that they don't take care of their teeth. Teeth are my lifelong problem. I remember myself being 6-year-old and having black teeth. I don't know, maybe I was malnurtured, or my body didn't produce enough calcium or whatever I had when I was little. So I've been struggling with teeth my whole life. So I forgive myself. I'm not sure for what I'm going to be forgiving myself for being sick, for not having good teeth, but I'll do it anyways. I forgive myself for having bad teeth, for I guess not taking care of them enough. I forgive myself for not taking care of my teeth enough. I let go of every sound, every image, every emotion, every feeling, every memory associated with having bad teeth. I let go of that. And I forgive myself for holding that negative feeling for so many years. I let go. And I open myself for being more aware of my dental health, of healthy teeth, healthy gums, fresh breath. I'm allowing myself to have healthy mouth and wonderful breath. Next, I dislike unintelligent people. I guess I'm unintelligent myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so irritated. I'm sure that comparing to other people and to other people, I sound unintelligent, ignorant, and unprofessional. I forgive myself for being ignorant, unprofessional, unintelligent. I forgive myself for all that. I accept my fault of being unintelligent, unprofessional, and ignorant. And I open myself to learning more, to becoming more professional, aware, and intelligent. That's a lot of tapping, man. Oh my god. Oh, I'm tired. Okay, next, number 10 is liars. I don't like liars. I guess I am a liar myself. Do I lie? I guess I do. I just can't admit that I lie sometimes. Or just don't say things. We all do. We all lie. Just let's face it. Because we all need to assure that our lives are less stressful and more beneficial. Okay. Lie. I forgive myself to be a liar, for being a liar. Can't really come up with any instance where I lied. But I guess I did. I just did. Just did. Okay? Today I'm facing my faults. It doesn't matter if I remember or don't remember, if it happened or didn't happen. If it bothers me, that means I do that too. Period. Consciously or unconsciously. So, I forgive myself for being a liar. Ooh, that hurts. Because I don't consider myself a liar. But I have to do that. I have to go through that. I forgive myself for being a liar. Feels unfair. Oh, darn. It's like I'm putting myself in a swamp of trash and just trashing myself. But I will do it anyways. I forgive myself for being a liar. I accept my faults. I forgive my faults. I forgive for lying. Interesting feeling. I forgive myself for lying. I let go of every feeling, every emotion, every sound, every memory, everything that is connected to this feeling, to this word, to this behavior, lying. I open myself for being truthful at all times, for telling the truth at all times, for facing the reality the way it is at all times. I don't know if it's, that doesn't matter. I allow myself to tell only the truth. I am safe to tell the truth. I don't have to lie anymore. I am safe to be who I am and to be myself. I am safe to tell the truth. I am safe to tell the truth. Okay. Number 11, irresponsible. I dislike irresponsible people. Okay, I accept that I am irresponsible. It's very hard to say that I'm irresponsible, but I guess I am in some ways. Maybe I'm responsible to myself, to my own life. I'm responsible for others, but not for my own. Maybe I'm a liar to myself, but not to others. It doesn't matter to who. If I commit this, I just have to make peace with it and change my behavior. It's not about being right or wrong, having good or bad reputation. It's about cleansing myself today. It's about changing my life today. It's about being wiser today. Okay, I forgive myself for being irresponsible. Irresponsible. I am not responsible. I'm not responsible. I forgive myself for being irresponsible. I let go Every sound, every feeling, every emotion, every taste, every smell, every image, every memory connected to this word, to this feeling, to this behavior. I let go, everything. And I allow myself to be responsible. To be responsible for every word I say. To be responsible for every action I make. To be responsible for my present, future, for people around me. And most importantly, for my own self. I am responsible for my own self. Next, living on welfare. I dislike people living on welfare. From my point of view, it's such a waste of life. From my point of view, every single person is creative and capable of earning his or her own money. But I guess if I'm so disturbed with that, I guess I am using welfare myself. I was pointed at that I get Pell Grants, federal Pell Grants for tuition, which is similar to a welfare. It might be so. So I forgive myself for using welfare. I forgive myself for using the government money to help me out in the stressful and the hard period of my life. I do get money to pay for my tuition. I forgive myself for that. I accept my fault. I'm not sure if it's my fault though. But I'll just face it anyways. I forgive my fault for using welfare. I don't use welfare, okay? I don't have any food stamps, anything. I'm just probably disturbed with just a feeling, with just a thinking that I came to America to live on welfare. It's just such a disgrace for me because we immigrants, we come here to grow, to develop, to be better. And the lifestyle that I had in Russia and the welfare is just such a great contrast. I guess I'm fearful. I fear to one day to go solo and live on welfare. I'm just terrified. Yes, everything comes from fear. All our dislikes are the results of being afraid of something. They're love or fear. Two polar feelings. So I'm letting go the fear of one day living on the welfare. I'm letting go that fear. I forgive myself for fearing, for having that fear of welfare. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for disliking people living on welfare. That's their choice. And it's not of my business. Still feels like I didn't let go. Welfare. Oh, the only word makes me so nauseated. Okay. I let go all the feelings, all the emotions, all the sounds, taste, smell, memories, everything that is connected to welfare. I feel better. I let go of everything. Welfare is just a word. There's nothing to fear. It's just a word. Yes, I feel much better. It's just a word. I don't have to be affected by that. I don't have to be on it. It's not part of my life. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for fearing that. Moving on. Unemployed. I dislike unemployed people because I'm unemployed. I'm a student. I don't work. I guess I dislike that in myself. I forgive myself for being unemployed. I forgive myself for taking a break and investing this time for studying, for getting a better chance to get a better job and to earn better money. I forgive myself for being unemployed. I forgive myself for living on a student loan. I forgive myself for that. Oh darn, now I want to cry. I forgive myself for living on a student loan. Why is it so emotional? Weird. Living off a student loan. Student loan. That word is kind of very acute. I have to let go. Student loan. I forgive myself for living on a student loan. I forgive myself for living on a student loan. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for living on the student loan. For not earning money. For investing the money in my education. I allow myself to earn money, to be employed, to have a good income, and be a good student at the same time. I don't know if it's possible. I tried. It's not possible. My grades are suffering from me being employed. But anyways, I'm employed. I'm opening myself for being employed. I'm opening myself for having an income. Maybe I can create a passive income. Don't have to be employed. Just create a passive income and live on it. I open myself for that. It's okay to create a passive income. It's very convenient and it's possible. Okay. Number 14. I don't like users. Oh, my neck is all red from tapping. Okay. I dislike users. I forgive myself for being a user. I'm a user. I use things, situations, people. I use everything because I'm a human being. I forgive myself. I accept my faults. I accept the fault of being a user. I don't know if it's a fault, but anyways, we'll do that as a fault. I accept myself. I accept this fault. I forgive myself and I open myself to be a giver. To be a giver. Give. To have a lot so I can give. I open myself to be rich, to be resourceful, to be abundant, to be a giver. I'm still going to be a user because we're designed to benefit from each other. But I'm allowing myself to have everything in abundance so I can share plenty with others without taking a risk of having nothing left to myself, for myself. That feels good. So basically I'm letting the fear of being used and having nothing left for myself. That's interesting. I'm letting that fear go. Okay, next is number 15. Fat. I dislike fat people. And look at me. I'm not thin either. I fluctuate. Sometimes I'm very thin, sometimes not so much. So, I fear of fat, and that's why I don't like fat people. I forgive myself for disliking fat people. I forgive myself for being fat. I forgive myself for fearing fat. I let go every sound, every taste, every emotion, every feeling, every image, every memory, everything that is connected to being fat. I let go. I let go. Let go of the fear of being fat. I forgive myself for disliking fat people. I forgive myself for disliking myself being fat. Wow, that's a lot of work. I forgive myself. And I allow myself to be fit. I don't want to be skinny, really. But I want to be fit. Fit, firm, healthy. I allow myself to be fit, firm, muscular, being in shape. I like that. Okay, and the last one, number 16, is disrespectful. I dislike disrespectful people. I guess I'm disrespectful. I am disrespectful. I accept my fault of being disrespectful. It's funny how the last negative features are so much easier to tap off, and I don't react, I don't laugh anymore, because they're probably all connected. And by eliminating fear and the fault of one feature, negative feature, you're eliminating the roots to other feature you don't like. So disrespectful. I forgive myself for being disrespectful. I forgive myself for being disrespectful. I let go of every sound, every feeling, every emotion, every memory, everything, taste, smell, everything that is connected to the word disrespectful, to the behavior of being disrespectful, and to the sound disrespectful. I let go of everything. And I open myself to be respectful. First of all, to be respectful to my own self. To project that respect to others. To attract people who respect themselves and who would respect me. I allow myself to behave in the way I'd like to others behave toward me. I allow myself to be respectful to my own self. To be respectful to my own self. To be the source of respect. To be confident in being respectful. Respect. What a journey. Wow, 48 minutes, 49. All right, I gotta wrap it up. Okay, folks, I feel much better. I hope this video helped you too. I love you all. Bye.